Welcome to Connecting with. So my first question is, in what age you have started traveling?
Serious travelling, I would say about 24 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before that, we travelled, before we met each other, we travelled, but it was, for me, it was a lot of around the UK. And I didn't consider that serious travelling because it wasn't real backpacking.
Okay.
Hitchhiking around, moving place to place, knowing that you don't want to just be in one place. Yeah.
And then we met at 23. We were 23 when we met.
Okay.
So we were 1 year together,
Ha.
and then we started traveling together.
Okay. After 23, you stayed 1 year together. Then why you decided to travel? Actually.
Well, John had already got a ticket to Australia, and I had to go with her.
Yeah.
I couldn't not go.
So that time, now I see you travel as not like a tourist, you just travel and you go to nearby villages by walk and all. In that time when you started, it was like a tourist or travel only, like you wanted to explore local culture, or you just go to like a sightseeing or that type of travel?
I don't think it was that norm. No, it wasn't, because we went to Australia and then we found a job working on the carnival with go-karts and basketball. So we signed up for that.
Okay.
But I think, I understand your question. I think to start with, we were doing a bit of both. Because when you go to sightsee, that takes you to an area.
Okay.
Then you get there and you you like the site, but you don't really like the tourism.
Right.
And then you take a step back from it and start talking to people, real people. And they will say, oh, well, come and have a look at this.
Okay.
And maybe it's not a big site, but it's something more interesting because the people are showing you. And I think we tended to find our own way. And when we were in Australia, definitely, we were always with local people there, everywhere we went to,
So you traveled many countries, so since maybe traveling since 35 years.
Yeah.
Which country you like the most?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
That's almost impossible,
Yeah, because they're all great in their own way. They all have their own.
I think I would say Sri Lanka.
Oh, really?
Because it's got everything in a very compact package. It's easy to get around. You have mountains and beaches and forests and wildlife. For that reason, because it is really easy. And we met some amazing people there, local people.
Okay.
And we did lots of homestay and we helped with kids and things like that.
Yeah.
Apart from that, Indonesia.
Yeah. No, that's memorable.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was hard, really difficult travel. Getting across overland was really difficult on the buses, and dangerous.
Yeah.
That was. Yeah, I'd say that was close to the top of my list. Indonesia.
So in which country you felt unsecure, like very, you felt it's dangerous to go around or something? Maybe you felt something?
I think we both know this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think it is Guatemala.
And you were planning to go there again?
Yes.
Yesterday you were talking.
Yeah, we'll be there again in a few months' time. Yes. Yeah. It's very, very different there. We go there because we do volunteer work and we work with a great animal rescue there. They happen to be in Guatemala, so we go there. But I think right from we always decided that we wanted to go to the Central America. And right from the first time we went about 5 years ago, pretty quickly we knew we weren't enjoying the country. We love Asia, we love Southeast Asia, we love India, we love the culture here, the people, the way life is. We feel really comfortable.
And safe. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And
But Guatemala, we've been there 4 years in a row,
yeah.
and we only go really for
work.
the dog rescue.
Yeah.
That is,
So far you did different kind of volunteering work. So can you tell me about that? Like what kind of volunteering work you did and what are the countries you visited?
Yeah.
It's okay if it's long also.
no, I think the
I'm very
first was
curious.
Egypt. I think Egypt was the first experience of doing animal rescue.
So mostly you are looking for animal related
Yeah.
volunteering work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So both of you are like animal lover kind of. So okay.
Yeah.
But they have to be non-profit making organisations.
And they have to be good. We have
yeah.
to.
Yeah.
We have unfortunately been to one. I won't say where it was, but we had a lot of communication with them. Turned up, and it wasn't what they told us it was. We didn't like what they were doing, so we couldn't work with them.
Right, right.
So that's unfortunate.
And then because of that, we ask a lot of questions
We do.
before we go anywhere.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
we check.
You'll be very
We-
clear
yeah.
with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. the-
Because it's a long way to travel to find out you didn't have the whole picture.
So you did volunteering work in Egypt and Guatemala and what are the other countries?
Thailand,
Thailand, oh yeah, Thailand.
Sri Lanka, Cambodia, India, Morocco. Trying to think now.
I know.
Laos.
Oh, Laos, yeah.
Yes. And in Indonesia, we didn't do volunteering with animals there. We did a lot of more. We did some, but it was mostly with children, teaching children,
Okay.
helping them with English and with basic skills. Yeah.
So how you manage fund for traveling like this? You are traveling around the world and since many years. How you manage that?
Well, we don't spend. We still work. We have to work to travel. So we'll work for 8-9 months of the year, and then we don't take any holidays. We just work up until the point we can travel. And that's how we do it, just for 3 months. We're trying to extend them when we can, make it as long as possible. But yeah, we still have to work. We both work. So
Then you spend less and save money for the travel.
yeah.
Yeah, we live-
All our savings go on
Travel.
travel and volunteering.
Yeah. We live a very, very, very simple life when we're at home. You know, if anybody comes to where we live, they'll be surprised by how old our TV is. Our furniture is broken. We say, yes, come in, sit down. No, don't sit there. That one's broken. Yeah, you can't sit on that one. Yeah.
Travel is more important to us.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you come to our house for a meal, you will probably have to bring your own plate.
Oh, it's not quite that bad.
we don't spend we don't spend money on anything.
No.
We
You just reminded me one co-surfing host in Sri Lanka. There is a place called Kandy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So there is one teacher, like couple are teacher, and a boy. They have one boy. So what they do is they both of them go for a job around 6:30 a.m. And around 2 p.m. they come and they give tuition classes for the extra kids, and they make money and go for traveling together.
Ah, great.
So they also don't spend so much money inside the house. Still they keep on hosting on couchsurfing.
Yeah.
So when I went there in 2015, especially I started couchsurfing, and first I visited Sri Lanka. So there I met, like I stayed there for 2 nights and got impressed and started hosting many people after that. So still I am hosting in my place.
Great.
So there's such amazing people, like you are like not spending money on unwanted things and saving money for the traveling.
Yeah.
So that is very nice. So you are also interested in biking and all. Can you tell me about trip? You did any?
Yeah, I have a bike back in the UK, which needs some attention.
Okay.
I have trouble spending money. So, but when we're away and traveling, I always like to get a bike and get out on the roads and travel around on the bike, because you can get to places that are difficult to get to otherwise. So it's always good to have a bike.
So how to travel very safely? You have any advices on that? Like how you travel, like there are scams and many things are going on, maybe every country. So how you do your own research, or can you tell me about that?
We do the research that everybody would do online as much as possible. The most important thing, I would say, is to talk to people. When you arrive somewhere, you just ask people.
And listen to the local people.
Yeah, listen to them. So, for example, if we were going to go somewhere by bus, somebody might say to us, no, don't take this bus. And you say, why? Because it's a cheap bus, we don't mind. And they say, no, it's not safe, you take that bus. We'll take their advice, because somebody has bothered to tell us, and that's difficult for them.
Right.
And generally, people do it with a good heart.
And we had a situation in Indonesia when they had their election, and there was lots of parties, and they were fighting against each other. Demonstrations, and it got quite violent in some of the towns. And we were warned to be very careful. And one morning we woke up and somebody said, "Oh, we're sorry to hear you're leaving." And we said, "We're not." And they said, "Yes, you are," because there was something going to happen.
Okay.
So we were put onto a bus, and they moved us on out of the town. And sure, there was trouble.
Big trouble, yeah.
Can you tell me about your best experience and worst experience in your traveling?
I think the worst was, even though we're experienced, we still let our guard down at one point, and we got our credit cards were stolen.
Yeah.
This was in
Thailand.
It was in Thailand, that's right, yeah. And that left a nasty taste in, so that wasn't a good experience.
So they stolen from your purse, or you kept in a hotel or something?
From our guest house room.
Room itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just,
So
you become a little bit too relaxed about things.
Right.
Yeah, it was our own fault.
Yeah, and I think that's what you've got to be careful of, is that when you're travelling for a length of time, you can get a little bit too relaxed, and you're a target.
Valuable it.
Yeah, you can become a target. You just don't do something once, and that's when something can happen.
Yeah.
True.
So to keep safe, you've got to always think about it.
Yeah.
And best parties?
Best. Oh, there are too many good things. I really couldn't choose one.
There's so many.
I know that it really is. That really is too difficult.
You can pick 2-3 or something.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about yesterday morning walking past a school and all the school children coming to the windows to wave to us? Yeah.
Even this morning we've got
Yeah, they're all waving to us and waving from the bus. That was wonderful. And also going to Borobudur Temple in Indonesia when there were no tourists there because it was unsafe. There were bombings, but we went anyway.
Oh, and trekking when there was just you, me, and our daughter.
Yeah.
And we stopped in a village for a rest under a tree, and the whole village came out and stood around us because they just don't see foreigners.
Yeah.
I mean, those are.
There are some big things.
Special moments.
There are amazing sights, things that we've seen, things that we've done. But honestly, there are too many things, and I think it's easier when you're traveling to say what amazing thing happened today. Because every single day, one day it'll be seeing an amazing temple, and the next day it'll be being given to sweet by a child.
Yeah.
You know, it's every day there's something. Yeah. And you don't know what it's going to be, and that's the biggest joy of it. Yeah.
So on the way you gave birth to your baby girl, and you started homeschooling. Can you tell me about homeschooling? Because in India, homeschooling is a very almost new concept. Why you decided to homeschool and these things?
How we came to.
Well, really, we decided we wanted to travel, and she was about 7 years old, and so that meant she had to come out of school. In England at that time, it was fairly straightforward. I talked to the school. I asked about the curriculum, what she would be learning. We thought we were only going to travel for a year. We were away traveling for 4 years. So then it was just a case of setting aside time every day to do some formal study. And it didn't matter what it was, because everything that she did was going to help her and keep her up. And having that time, sometimes it was only, like a couple of hours. It wasn't like a full school day, but it was keeping the structure of your education. Now we're going to sit down and we're going to have some formal education. And it could be anything, reading, writing, maths, talk about anything. But just to keep that, because I think we always knew she had to go back to school at some time. So we didn't want it to be too different for her. So we did that, and then in addition to that, whenever we travelled and she met people, she talked to people and learned so much just by talking. Perhaps she didn't. I mean, when somebody sat on a beach with her on an island and looked up at the stars and talked to her about all the different constellations and the stories behind them, she probably didn't remember very much, but she would remember the feeling of being amazed by it and how good it was, and listening and having a really positive idea about it. And later on, the only constellation we could recognise was Orion, with Orion's belt. But we saw it everywhere we were in the world. She would look up and say, there's Orion's belt. And I know that because somebody told me on a beach. And that's an amazing thing. And then she will go on to learn more and pass that on to her own children. So schooling her was fine. And she went back into full education when she was 11 or 12, I think.
12, I think,
Yeah, in Malaysia. And because she hadn't been in school for so long, they said, well, we'll see how she is. Maybe we have to take her back a year or two. And after 2 weeks, they said, she's absolutely fine. Only her handwriting. It's like, well, that's okay. So it didn't do her any harm at all. She was fine.
So what is your future plan? Like, you want to keep on traveling, or what kind of traveling?
Keep traveling, hopefully for longer periods each year. Still keep doing what we're doing, volunteering, working with animals. And in community, if the right thing comes up, we can work with communities. So just keep going. It's a big world, so we haven't seen it all. There's still more to see.
Okay, thanks for talking with me.
Oh, thank you very much.